What's up, guys? Brady here, and right now I'd like to take some time to talk about my previous video. On my previous video I took a friend, Jacob Hansen, out to one of the local MetroParks so I could because he wanted to learn a little bit about some Bigfoot research stuff. So I took him out there and showed him some basic stuff. Honestly, I didn't think we'd find anything. It's a pretty small little park. We usually go to the Cuyahoga Valley, but we didn't really have enough time. He had a short time because he had to work. So we took him over to one of the local MetroParks, so I could show him some of the basic stuff, teach him a couple things. So if he ever wants to do this on his own, he'd have enough basic information to probably go out and know somewhat what he's doing. And a couple of people have been asking me about the vocalizations that I recorded in that video. I'm pretty suspicious about those as well. So when we got there, my plan was to try and go as off trail as possible, try and stay away from the trails, try and get higher up in elevation, the steeper the better, and try and not be an ant. Most people are like ants, we just follow each other's trails. So I was trying to avoid all other human traffic. So Hansen and I crossed a creek and we went up this pretty steep hill. You can see that in the video. And we just went as far off trail as we could. And then eventually we're just walking around. We see a couple of stick structures here and there, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're natural or if there's something else. I mean, who knows? You know, we keep walking, one little talking, and then just mid-walk we heard this whoop. It sounded very whoopish, but at the time I was thinking, is that a barred owl? But I wasn't sure. So I try to whoop back and I don't hear any more responses. So at that point I'm thinking maybe it's a barred owl, maybe it'll respond back if I do a respond call. So after I do my call, I'm just waiting for a response. Don't hear any response from an owl, so I'm okay. I'll assume that's an owl for now. I didn't hear it super great because I was walking and there was a bunch of leaf litter everywhere and sticks. So I just assume it's probably just a barred owl, but it sounded very strange. It sounded more like a whoop than a barred owl. But I know barred owls can make very whoopish type sounds. So then we just keep walking, and then a little while later, I'd say about 6-7 minutes, we hear another whoop in that same direction. So then I'm looking over there, I don't see, hey, there's actually a deer right over here. There's actually a deer right there. Very cool. Sorry about that. I'm going to try and put this back the way it was. And we just keep on walking and we hear that second whoop, and I'm getting a little bit more suspicious this time because usually the barred owls I've heard, they do multiple vocalizations in a row pretty quickly right after one another, like hoo 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 hoo. They go whoo. They do a couple of those pretty close to each other, not 6-7 minutes apart. So then I'm still wondering, maybe that's possibly an owl still. And so we keep walking, find a couple more stick structures. Wasn't really sure. I'm still not really sure about that. I'm still looking into stick structures and stick leans, stick things like that. I'm still trying to learn as much as I can about that. But so yeah, we just keep walking. And then I'd say about 6-7 more minutes, we're almost back to the trail. We decided to head back to the trail, maybe head back down to the creek and look around some more. So we get back to the trail, and just before we get back to the trail, just before we get back to the trail, we hear the third and final whoop. So Hansen at first, he's like, is that a bark? I was like, no, dude, that's the same thing we just heard. And then he's like, oh, dude. So no, I think that was the same sound we already heard. So at this point, okay. So the strange thing for me was that they were set apart. We're finding structures, don't know if they're connected. They all came the same direction. So I don't know if it was an owl that just hooted like long times in between, like 6-7 minutes in between. It was unusual if it was an owl. Or I guess it could be a person, if there's a person up there, but we didn't see anybody following us, hear anybody following us, anything like that. So I'm definitely not thinking it's a person. Yeah, they sounded very whoopish instead of like whoo, sounded more like whoop. I mean, so I'm not really sure what that was. People are asking me about it, and it is a pretty small area, and so I wasn't really expecting to find a whole lot. It's not too big. I mean, it's a little reservation. But I've also heard stories of Bigfoot reports in more populated areas, but still in like little parks or reservations, things like that. So, I guess it could be, but at this point, I'm just not really sure. I think I'd have to tend to lean towards owl, but I'm kind of split on this one. I don't really know. It didn't seem like an owl to me. It didn't sound too much like an owl. Didn't behave too much like an owl in my experience. So I'm not really sure what that sound was. So I guess I'm just gonna have to leave it at that. So yeah, so after that we just went and explored the creeks a little bit, seeing if we can find any footprints. We didn't find anything else. We saw lots of animal life. We saw lots of tracks. We just saw like animal tracks, not like Bigfoot tracks or anything. We just found animal tracks, lots of deer sign. Yeah, and we eventually ran into some dogs. Hansen was thinking, when we heard the third whoop, he said, was that a bark? So then later on we ran into some dogs, and we heard them barking. It didn't sound anything like the whoop sound. So I'm not thinking it was a dog. I'm thinking it was definitely a hoot or a whoop, but I'm not really sure which one. I didn't get the clearest hearing of it because we were walking and stepping on sticks. So it was kind of like you see in the video, where I step on a stick and then you just hear whoop, and you only really hear one good one on the video, but we heard all three of them pretty clearly. But the other two, I guess we were walking a little heavier and you couldn't really hear them in the video. So yeah, we just kept exploring the area. Eventually we got a little bit lost, kind of. That's in the video too. We kind of got lost, but we just stayed on the trail. We came out on the completely opposite side of the trail that we were trying to end up on, and so we had to just take this road up this big hill all the way back up to the spot that we started. So then we just explored around a little bit more, showed Hansen a couple more things, and then we just headed out, and that was a trip. So that was a pretty fun trip, and I'm still not really sure what to think about those hoops or hoots or whoops. I mean, I'm still not really sure about that. They sounded like whoops, but I'd be kind of surprised if there was Bigfoots there. But we were also finding structures, like little, so if you had a tree like this, there would be different things lined in different directions, like cross sections of branches that looked like it'd have to be shoved in there. One, we found a branch, like there were two trees right there and there was a branch in between them. So that was pretty strange. So I'm still not really sure about stick structures. I've been looking into those, but I'm still not really great at them. I mean, so the whoop, I'm not really sure at this point. Yeah. So I'm still not really sure about whoops. And speaking of the episode, I've been doing some thinking with my episodes. I've had really two main sets of episodes. I've had the more casual episode and the more like organized music, sound effects. No, not sound effects, but like music, montages, things like that. So I was wondering, how do you guys like my channel? Do you guys like it? Do you guys like the videos that are more natural, like just taking you guys on a hike through the woods? Or do you like my intros, my outros, my music in between, my montages? Things like that? Or would you rather just have me filming and taking you guys through the woods and showing you the cool stuff we find? Or do you guys prefer having the intro, the outro, all the music and cool stuff in between, the speed up shots. Those have been my main episodes so far, but I uploaded, for this particular trip, you might have noticed that there was one super long one and one condensed one. The condensed one was the one with the music, the intros, outros, things like that. The long one was the full trip. I took all the footage, just put it all together, and then I just uploaded that. It's like a 40-minute video. So which one would you guys rather have? I don't think I'd keep them at 40 minutes long if I did the more natural ones. I'd probably condense them down to more 15 minutes, 10 minutes, but have them like just natural, no music, just all the natural sound, not a whole bunch of editing. That's what I see, a lot of that. People seem to respond to that better than the stuff with the sound effects, or not sound effects, stuff with the music, with the intros, outros. I mean, people might suspect hoaxery and that type of thing, like editing of the footage, and I don't really want people to be like, oh, he's editing, he has editing software, then that means it's a hoax, obviously, but, you know, who cares? So which one do you guys prefer? I just want to ask which one you guys prefer and which one you guys want me to do, because if you guys like simpler videos, I'll do simpler. If you guys want me to keep with the music and the intros and things like that, I'll keep that for you if you guys are liking that. So just let me know in the comments below. Please tell me I have like 150 of you guys out there watching this that are subscribed. I mean, whoever watches this, just please comment below. Check out my other videos. Which ones you like better? Because I'd really like to know so I can get the content that you guys want out better. So I don't want to be putting up videos that people are wondering about and they don't really like them. So if you guys like a particular type of video, just comment down below and tell me which one you like, and then if more people say one or the other, then I'll probably pick that one. Because, I mean, just putting them together is a lot easier, but I kind of like watching the videos with the music and stuff better. But if you guys like whichever one, then I'll probably start making those more often for you guys. So yeah, that was kind of my review of the strange noises we heard on the trip with Hansen, and a little channel update. So remember, just comment below which one you prefer, and whichever one gets the most likes, or whichever one is more frequently commented on, that's the one I'll probably end up doing. And go back and check out my episode and tell me what you think of the whoops. That would be really great. If you heard something like that and then you noticed an owl made the sound for sure, then that'd be really helpful as well. So yeah, if you've had your own Bigfoot sighting, just email me at bradybigfooter@gmail.com. and maybe we can get some conversation going in the comments or on my email, and we can talk some Squatch. All right, thank you guys.